Alright, there's like 1,000,001 ways to start a fire out in the wilderness. If you were to go online and look, you'd see everything from pre-made kits to cheap things that are quite impossible to get to work to some actually pretty neat little inventions. And what I want to do is go through some items that are readily available to the consumer and piece together a surefire way to start a fire, no pun intended, that'll work 100% of the time. Now, in order to do that, we need to cover a couple things first and go through some of the components that would enable a person to start a fire every time, all the time, regardless of the situation. Now, initially, you have to find something to actually have an ignition source, and we're going to start out with this ferro rod. This is a 6" by 1/2". Pick these up on eBay or Amazon, fairly cheap. I don't use the little ones, I don't play around with that stuff, but very easy to use. Just get a knife and basically scrape it. What they do now, you can start a fire just with this, is you keep grinding off a little bit of shavings without lighting them up, and then you see there it'll start pop. From experience, that don't always work all the time. If you got a sunny day going on, a good ignition source is a magnifier sheet. Pick these up for dirt cheap anywhere. We're going to test it out on a piece of wood. Within seconds, burnt right into the wood. Cats suck. Look at that crap. Alright, for starters, we're going to need something that can light up real quick. A good candidate is steel wool. The finer the better, very cheap. We're going to go ahead and put some in this pan for testing, see how well it does light. I'd say that's enough. Now we're going to see if we can't use a 9-volt battery. Ignite this. I would have to say that ignites rather fast. Look at that. And pretty hot, but I think I did a little overkill there. We are going to use that as the initial ingredient. Now, from experience, steel wool is very hard to get something to light as far as a fire. You're going to need some other combustible ingredient that will light readily fast with the steel wool and burn longer and hotter. And what I got here is called Char Cloth. It's carbonized cotton. Pick that up anywhere, Amazon, eBay, on the survival areas or camping. Very cheap. We're going to go ahead and see if that lights up decent. Tell you right now, it's already lit and it's hot. What that does is just glows like charcoal, and I'm telling you, you can't touch the stuff. You see there, still burning pretty good. We're going to use that. Now we need to go a step further, and we need something that produces an extreme amount of heat and will be lit by that char cloth. You're looking at a can of Longhorn long cut chew here. Not really, it's just my container. We're looking at 99% pure mag, or just basically files of magnesium, what they make them ferro rods out of. Put a little bit of that in the pan here and see if we can't get that lit up. Gonna be using a ferro rod again. This stuff burns white and extremely hot. Make sure you get 99% pure. That'll light anything. Now you need something that will burn for quite a while, such as some type of tinder. You can go and buy your wax-coated little tinder sticks and stuff like that, or go ahead and pick up a big box of the SureStart Firelight squares and cut them up yourself. Literally ripping them apart. It's basically just cardboard impregnated with wax. Same thing as the pre-made little strips you can buy, except you're getting like pennies on a dollar for it. I want to see if I can get that lit up. That didn't take long. These things burn. They burn good and they light fast. Look at that. One real good thing about them SureStart firelighting squares that you cut up, you notice, got that in water. Tell you what, we're going to try to light it with the magnifying sheet. Well, it was lit. Let her back up. Look at that. Pretty nice. Even soaking wet. You can hear the water crackling. So we definitely got to use that stuff. That's awesome. I think we're down to one ingredient. What we got here is a regular roll of duct tape. People don't probably realize just how long this stays burning, and it is actually waterproof, the same as them strips. And I want to give you just a tiny demonstration. I got some waterproof matches here. They're basically wax coated matches wrapped it up in this duct tape. See if we can't get this to light. Already went out. Too bad. But that's one thing about that duct tape. It does take a little bit to light it. As you can see there, even a real good set of matches in the wind is hard to get anything lit. This sucks the big one. Plan B. Once duct tape is lit, it's hard to get this out, even in a strong wind. Look at that. So we got to use it. Now you could always take some steel wool, a big pile of it, and lay it down under something, spread it out, maybe throw a few mag chips in for good measure. Take a small ferro rod in a air pistol, poke it down in there, give her a whirl, see if it'll ignite it. Oh, look at that. Got a nice fire. Doozy at that. That's a little too extravagant. One thing I want to try quick is taking some very good matches, these waterproof ones, and seeing if you can actually light magnesium. I'm not going to do it that way. Or that way. Now there. Shit. Don't understand. I think matches would be a little better than what they are. So what that leads us to is, I think we're going to have to make us an omelet. Now a person can take all this stuff out into the field, into it, or you can make it at home. What I'm going to do, first ingredient, is lay some duct tape down, like so. We're going to take a little bit of char cloth, lay that on there, keep some of it sticking out off the side of the duct tape, push it down on the tape, like that. We're going to cut off one of our tinder sticks and put in there. You don't need a very big one. Let's try this little guy. I'll sprinkle on some magnesium filings, and I'll lay on don't even need it to be that damn big. A little bit of steel wool, enough where it got some sticking out. Now we're going to roll it up, like so. You can tuck that steel wool in for a later date if you want it. You can tape over a little chunk of duct tape to help waterproof it if you want it, to open it back up at a later time. Now let's see what happens, see if we can't get this thing lit. We're going to start out with the 9-volt battery. Trying. Oh, we got fire. Look at this. Tell me that ain't the best fire starter you've ever seen in your life. It burns. It's going to burn and burn and burn and burn hot. Even in 10, 15 mile an hour winds. Youch. Warm. Throw a few leaves on. Look at that. Big old fire. It's a little warm. Just dumped all that out. There's that thing yet. Still lighting up. Look at that. Combination of them ingredients will give you something that you could count on, whether it's an apocalypse going on from zombies, or a hurricane, or maybe a government takeover, or maybe when Russia bombs us, or if you're just taking your family camping and you want to show off. Pretty nice. Pick up a little waterproof case, pre-make some up. You could probably fit 50 or 60 of them in here. I only got 3 made, but You get the idea. Pretty nice. A person could just take one of these containers and a bunch of these SureStart sticks, cut them up, put a few in there, load it up with some magnesium, carry a nice ferro rod on you. It might fit right in there, and there's a good chance you're going to get a fire started. Or do it these little omelets that I made. I'm going to call them fire omelets. These things are incredible and they light faster than hell and pretty much guaranteed. Let's pack it up. Battery, duct tape, magnesium, char cloth, steel wool and fire sticks, ferro rods, knife, bandages, gauze, waterproof case, waterproof matches for good luck, and a magnifying sheet. Already got 25 bucks, including the nice storage tote into everything, if not less, and an endless supply of fire starter. There you go.